Let's start in ow, 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 ow.
The
Three.
fuck?
Don't look at me, don't judge me.
Oh, you son of a bitch! You also did it! Hello to all you geeks and degenerates out there, and welcome back to the channel. And today, as you can see, we are kind of in a sort of theme. I don't know what Enzo's wearing, but I got aviators on, and we're talking about Top Gun. And as always, my wingman here, Enzo.
Hello.
I need to get him some aviators, I know.
Oh well. This is a Christmas gift from one of my titas.
To be honest, I can't really see it through the screen all that well. What are those?
I don't know, actually.
It doesn't look that bad.
Oh well.
Anyway, yeah. How you doing, man?
Doing well. Excited. We need a palate cleanser from the last one.
Yeah. Are we gonna be doing this entire review with these?
No, I'm gonna get a migraine. I know myself too well. No more glasses.
But yeah, since the new Maverick movie is gonna be coming out sometime soon, we would like to touch on Top Gun. And yeah, man, what was your first experience with Top Gun? Like, how did you first watch it?
No.
And yeah, I know what you mean. I'm getting a migraine.
I just watched it because all of my relatives who are, from a certain generation wouldn't shut up about it. I'm like, it's just about jets. What's so cool about it? And they would explain, like, how they emulated Tom Cruise. I'm like, alright, I get that. Copying characters. Like, every time there's an emo character with a trench coat, they copy them too. Again, what's so special about this movie? And finally decided to watch it on Netflix when Netflix finally came here. I'm like, alright, this is the perfect time to watch Top Gun, finally. And this movie has such a charm and style to it. I'm like, I really like this movie.
Man, from the first scene alone, seeing the jets, sunset, and the guitar riff, I was like, oh, it's so good.
But yeah, I like this movie so much that like, every time I was in college, like, as the years went by, I would like watch it once a year. I'm like, I really like this style.
Mm-hmm. Very good, very good. Yeah, I mean, yeah, like for me, I'm a big Gundam fan. Pretty much, Gundams are like jets but with legs and arms. And I also played a lot of Ace Combat. It's a Japanese, what do you call it? Fighter
Jet.
sim?
Yeah, I guess.
Jet fighter. And I love that game so much. It's so anime, yet still kind of grounded. Sadly, I didn't have that, like, the flight simulator kind of pedals and stick. But that shit was so fucking good. And I needed more. And knowing the fact, I was like, I keep hearing Kenny Loggins and, Top Gun. And I don't know what's that all about. So I tried it out a few years ago and I was like, wow. I need more Ace Combat just to fill in the gap that Top Gun left. Like, I needed more jets because I played Ace Combat. And then I watched Top Gun, and then now I need more jet shit. Yeah, because God, that is the closest thing that we could have to a mech anime. Yeah, but anyway, yeah, I love my jets. I love my Gundams. I would love to be a pilot one day, but sadly I wear glasses. But anyway,
The bane of us wanting to be pilots is poor eyesight.
poor eyesight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm nearsighted for fuck's sake.
Oh, don't worry. Me too. And like, I think I need new glasses soon because this is kind of getting blurry.
Oh no.
I mean, with them they're fine, but like without it, I'm like, I can't read shit.
Anyway, enough of our disabilities. Let's get to the movie. But yeah, we first get introduced to Tom Cruise and Goose, Maverick and Goose, and they're pretty much two peas in a pod. Well, two peas in a cockpit, and they're pretty much brothers in arms. More than brothers, I would say. Like, you can't pretty much tear them apart, and you can see that like Maverick is that type of character. The loose cannon, the Han Solo.
Yeah.
Man, this dude makes me laugh every time he's like, permission for flyby, and they're like, there's no space. Or there's no pattern or some shit like that. And he would just fly right next to like, the control tower. I was like, Are people allowed to do that? Would you get court-martialed for flying so close to a building? But he's Tom Cruise, and he's our hero.
Yeah. And I like the inverted flying they do in the beginning. Like, how do you do that? How
Dude,
do you, as an actor, train to do that and not get scared shitless?
I don't know if they were in the plane. Were they actually in the plane when they filmed
Some of the
this?
scenes were, and then some of the scenes aren't.
I mean, I know that when there are the scenes where the two jets are beside each other, like for sure those are real planes. Like yeah, the two planes when they're out, like you see the two planes flying beside each other. For sure, those are real planes. But when they're in the cockpit, for sure they're not.
Oh yeah.
In like up in the air.
Yeah, they had a stage where they could set a fake cockpit because they tried doing like cameras in the actual cockpits, and like it was too shaky, and most of the actors were either green or vomiting their guts out, so that was unpretty.
Yeah, trying it out, and then Tom Cruise was like, "Wait for the second, I'll pull it off. Trust me." But yeah, and we get to see that they were like their first dogfight. Not really dogfight. It was their training,
Yeah,
and then they run into like two MiGs, and this is where we see the actual flying chops of Maverick, where this man is so dangerous that he would get so close to a plane where he would be upside down looking at the guy giving him the finger. Like 1 meter apart. Kind of close. And that shit's scary, and I was like, how the fuck is he doing that?
right. Like this is an intimidation act against the Russians.
Yeah, exactly. And as they get back, they pretty much get thrown into Top Gun, which is a school for the best of the best pilots.
Because they take Cougar's spot because he was freaking out back there.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Cougar. Yeah, like Cougar was pretty much hitting PTSD right on the spot because he couldn't handle being actually in combat, which sucks because they said that he was number one and then Maverick was number two. So what was Cougar like before PTSD?
I do like when he lands and then he hears Cougar's in trouble. He just takes off again because
he takes off again. Yeah,
like as the Navy says, and the Navy was like consulting on this movie, like landing a plane on an aircraft carrier is one of the hardest things to do, and the fact that you have to land and then take off right away, that's doubly hard.
Fuck. That is legit cool though. That there was an actual pilot. I know it's not Tom Cruise, but there was an actual pilot who actually attempted that for a movie. Oh, that was great. And yeah, he had to like escort him in. And to be honest, I thought they would crash.
Me too. It's like, why is this movie so good? Why is it about to end like 5 minutes?
No, Tom Cruise, I knew he wasn't gonna crash, but I thought, what's his name?
Oh, I thought they were gonna pull the rug from under him. Like, I guess Tom Cruise is not the main star. Oh well.
You're right. It's Goose.
You're right. But yeah, they go to Top Gun where they train the best spots, and you see it in the introduction. Like, this is the school that you want to be in, and it's based on an actual school.
Yeah, for sure. We're not gonna just make up a random, like, special ops team out of nowhere. But anyway, before that though, they were at a bar, and this is where we meet the love interest of
Charlotte.
Tom Cruise. Yeah, Charlotte.
I mean, to be honest, if I'm gonna, echo everyone's sentiments, like, I'll do like the chemistry between Charlotte and Maverick, but I would argue those are not the two people you want to see fucking in this movie.
Man, the sexual tension, majority of the time, is between Iceman and Maverick.
Oh yeah,
Like-
I was also referring to him and Goose.
Nah, Goose is already married, so
That's true.
I don't want to break that apart. But every time, like, you could tell that, like, right across the room, you could see Iceman just, like, talking to a chick, but his eyes were at Maverick, like, the entire time. I was like, man, just come here and kiss me already. Like, I was like, kiss him already. Fuck's sake.
But yeah, apparently Val Kilmer didn't want to do this movie because he was contractually obligated, and he's like, fine, I'll do it. And this became his most famous role. Ironically.
Yeah, I would say Val Kilmer did a really good job here.
Yeah.
Like I know he's a little bit of a diva, but like his character here was not as standout-ish as compared to his other characters, but it was a really good character, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the entire time they were doing their like flight tests and the sexual tension between him and Charlotte, you know, Maverick and Charlotte. I like that shit. Where you like there's a perfect opportunity. She brings you to your house and you do nothing and you leave and you're like, I need to take a out.
Yeah. Ooh.
And you're just gone and we're like the girl would just be like, what? She didn't fuck me? We're like
Speaking of, undertones, like that volleyball scene, I'm like, yeah, there are undertones in this movie. And
yeah.
it didn't come across a lot of people because homophobia was rampant in the 80s. So I
Yeah, but for some reason, everybody was kind of like a closeted, like, gay man there. Like, the first,
like the only one that was conservative was Goose.
Goose, yeah, because he's a married man.
Yeah.
And like, the entire time he plays gay. Like, oh, don't be late, sweetie, and you're looking good, and then he leaves. Like, he's just playing gay just to be funny. Well, everybody else is trying to hide it, but also it kind of creeps out, you know? You know that one guy in the conference room, he's like, I have such a hard-on.
What?
It's a plane. Or is it the instructor? Because not gonna lie, he is hot. But like, you gotta calm down. I think his nickname was like, or like what?
But yeah, that again the volleyball scene. Like the first time I saw, it, I'm like, yeah, there's something here that didn't really hit my relatives who told me about this movie. When they were like, it's great. They never mentioned this scene. I'm like, all right.
I mean, I gotta lie. Abs, jeans, and sand.
Yeah, love the fact that Cruz goes to his date with Charles like right after that game. Like, don't you want to shower first, man?
Right.
Or is that an American thing to do to play, and then...
I hated that. Like, he puts on the shirt, and he puts on the jacket while he's still sweaty. I was like, man, don't you want to just wipe it down first?
Yeah, I'm like, man, I get it, that's an American thing. Because every time I played sports, we always went to the shower after.
Yeah, you would get sick.
Yeah.
And he had the motorcycle. Okay, there was a lot of things that was weird about this movie. One, the like, gay undertones, them being disgusting. Tom Cruise riding a motorcycle without wearing a helmet.
It's a movie, it's fine.
Dude, it's...
Yeah, I know, but, who cares? People are looking after him.
And everybody was just sweaty. Why was everybody sweaty? Man, Command Center was sweaty. And I was like, why? Like, the guy on the radio is like, oh, Maverick, there's a bogey near you. And he's sweating bullets as if he's the one flying. I'm like, why? Did like, the set design just comes in, spray them with, like, water before they start, rolling? Like, I don't know why they were so sweaty. And they would wear leather jackets. Not gonna lie, I was very uncomfortable in this movie.
Though the flight sequences, like the first one when he takes down, was it Jester?
Oh, Jester. Yeah, Michael Ironsides.
Yeah. And then that's when he does the flyby and he gets scolded by his officers, like, you broke the rules, you should know better. If you don't, you're out.
Yeah. But like, every time they're like, that was a risky move, don't you dare do that again. He leaves and they're like, that was a pretty good move, he got you though. I'm like, if it worked, it worked.
Yeah, and then, like, Cruz is still, like, cocky, and then Goose is like, hey, man, that was a risky move. And he's like, alright, I'll do better next time. I won't do that again. But
yeah,
you sense, like, he is going to do that again. And maybe next time it will cost him dearly.
Yeah. And, like, I kind of get it, though. Like, Maverick takes the maneuvers, takes those shots that are so hard to take, so risky, yet so effective. And you think, and to everybody, he's the only one who could pull it off. And I like that character. But he is a lone wolf. Sure, he has Goose behind him, but the entire time, he's the one flying, and he's navigation. That's it.
Yeah. And, like, I like how every time he's really cocky, like, someone cuts him down. Like it's either Val Kilmer or his commanding officers or Goose.
Yeah.
And they're like, hey, no, relax.
Like, calm down.
Yeah.
I get. And you gotta love how Viper was that. Would you have him fly with you? And he was like, I don't know. That part I get. Like,
Yeah.
sure, if he was lone gunning it the entire time, yeah, do those risky maneuvers. But if you have a wingman, it will be risky for your partner.
Yeah, and he's also doing that because like he thinks his father did wrong, and he's trying to do right by his name for himself. It's like my father fucked up, and I have to do better than him.
Yeah, we got a little bit of backstory there with Maverick, and I gotta say, they represented Val Kilmer as like the competition, the Sasuke to his Naruto, the Bakugo to his Midoriya, the rival.
Yeah.
And like the entire time as I was watching as a kid, I was like, yeah, fuck you, Iceman. And now as I grew up, I was like, Iceman's kind of correct. The entire time he's just worried about you, homie.
Yeah, and
like,
the fact that he's like
he's not there as competition. He's not like, we gotta pull you out because you're gonna be better than me. I was like, nah, be better with everything you learn. And like, I was like, what? I don't, because we're rewatching it for this review. I was like, Iceman's just worried.
Yeah.
Like, the entire time he just wants the best for the team. I was like, not an asshole.
It's like, you're dangerous and you're reckless.
And I was like, yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I do like after Charlotte, well, their first meeting, by the way, like by the hangar. It's funny because the Navy was like, "Why are you using the hangar space? We have a classroom." And they were like, "Shh, shh, 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 shh. It's fine, it's fine."
This looks way better.
Yeah.
Penny Locking's heading. Okay.
Yeah, and then their military advisor was like, "It makes no sense, but it looks good on film."
It does. It does.
Yeah. But also like.
But I mean, like, I don't know how you could hear a class when you just hear a jet taking off behind you or something like that.
And then like I like the meeting where I forgot the intention. Like she's trying to not say like you're doing a really good job, Maverick, because she doesn't want to let the class know that I'm kind of falling in love with you.
Yeah, she fancies Maverick.
Yeah.
Oh,
that line though, it's like I don't want them to sense that I've fallen for you. I'm like,
you could see like Tom Cruise blushing. I was like, you bitch. And like before that, you could see like Tom Cruise was kind of pissed off because she was pretty much setting him off. Like that was a great maneuver, but that's a prime example of what you should not do.
Yeah.
And like, Tom Cruise storms off. He's pissed off, and he starts yelling at her, and she goes, "I love you." And I'm like,
No, he starts revving his motorcycle, and they're just like mouthing off. He's like, "I can hear you." And then he runs away, or drives away, and then she chases him, almost causes an accident. It's like, what the fuck? You say I'm reckless.
Right?
Oh, no,
I love Tom Cruise motorcycle here, and I love Charlotte's Porsche here. And I was like, what time period was this? This is the 70s?
No,
because I see like a 240Z coming out of nowhere. I was like, that's a 70s car. What year is this?
In the movie, or like when it was released?
Yeah, in the movie.
I don't know.
I would say early 80s, right?
Yeah, but like, yeah. But again, this is like the pinnacle of 80s movies.
Yeah.
And then they have the 6, and it's pretty, I don't know, tasteful.
Oh yeah, that was top tier sex scene right there.
Yeah, maybe I can show an image. I don't want to play with the YouTube thing.
No, don't.
I mean, if you've seen the movie, you're good. It's like the most stylistic sex scene I've ever seen, and playing the background is "Take My Breath Away," which is a great song too.
Yeah. Yeah, and like they don't show a lot. They don't show a tit here or there. No, you just see Tom Cruise being passionate with Charlotte here.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, they did a really great job here.
Yeah.
For the sex scene.
I think the thing was that they screened the movie, right? And then the audience were like, "There's not enough romance and sex," and they were like, shit." And then they did.
Whoa!
They brought back everyone, Tom Cruise and Charlotte, and Kelly McGillis was doing another movie, so she had to cut her hair short. That's why in the elevator scene she's wearing a hat. And then
I love the elevator scenes. The sexual tension
yeah.
within that scene was so good.
And then Tom Cruise was doing a Scorsese movie. That's why his hair's a bit more slick than it was before. But yes,
I didn't notice. I think that's why they filmed it in the dark and you just see their silhouette.
Yeah, and again, the power of film editing. Well, films are really shot, by the order you see it. It's also maybe the last shot is the first shot, and then the start is like, we can do that after we're done.
Yeah, well, let's do the hard parts first.
Yeah.
Then they come Goose dying. That's the first thing that he comes in.
Slam your head against the canopy. Okay.
But yeah, since now you mentioned it.
Oh wait, before that, I do like the scene where Maverick abandons Hollywood, was it? And to go after, not Jester, but like Viper.
Oh, to go after Viper because he was the first one to graduate Top Gun. So like saying that, oh, I beat the best of the best. It's kind of like, I get it.
Yeah, I get going after the top dogs. That's why I play the way I play in certain games with like Dead by Daylight. Even though it comes at my own risk.
Yes. Yeah. Anyway, Gary.
Yeah, and then Jester already took care of the other pilot, and he comes behind Cruise and he's like, "You're dead." And then Goose is like, "Someone told the mamas that we were killed by stupidity." I like how he says "we" instead of "it's Maverick's fault."
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, Goose and Maverick, they're best friends. They're really good friends. And if they fuck up, it's a we thing. It's not a you thing.
Yeah.
Well, while Maverick is like, I did it, when Goose is like, oh, I was there too. And I was like, oh.
Yeah. But since we touched on that, like, is that this? I think setting up for it was I feel the need for speed scene. That's one of the most quotable lines ever. And
I don't know what's up with Goose and Maverick, but every time they have a high five, it's just so solid. Like, I want that kind of
Goose and Maverick? You mean Goose and Maverick?
Goose and Maverick.
Oh, that's it. Goose and Maverick. Like, he high fives himself? What a loser! I'm kidding, no. But yeah, he gets behind the jet wash of one of the fighters, one of the last few training things they do, and he spins out of control. And this scene is composed of a lot of things. Like, unfortunately, one of the people who were shooting the scene was a stunt pilot who knew what he was doing, but as he was filming the scene, he himself spun out of control, and he's the only member of the crew to get killed in this movie.
Somebody died filming this movie? Shit.
And another shot where you see the jet from below just spinning. That's because they bought a jet toy from a shelf and just threw it out like a window to make it spin.
Oh. I mean, that's great. That's practical effects right there.
Yeah. It's not like they actually
asked
to be like, can you do this death-defying thing?
Can you lose control purposely? But yeah, before that, we get to see that, like, as they're like crashing down. Before that, we pretty much see the red flag, like the death flags right there. Where we see Goose's family, we see the son who's gonna be in the next movie.
Who grew up to be Miles Teller.
Right? And if Miles Teller does not say "Great Balls of Fire," I'm gonna be so mad. Yeah, you see them like bonding and like,
they're so sweet with each other too. I'm like, I hope nothing happens to them.
And like what was the name of that one movie with Billy Crystal? When Harry Met Sally.
Yeah.
She was there. She was the wife of Goose.
Yeah, Meg Ryan.
Meg Ryan, there we go. Thank you.
Like, she doesn't have a lot to say about like her lines. She's such a likable character, and her lines are very impactful, especially after what happens to Goose. You're like, fuck.
That shit was surreal though. Like, you saw the body crumble underneath the canopy.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck.
According to the Navy, though, that is completely on Goose's fault. Because you're supposed to wait a couple of more seconds.
A couple of seconds, then
go. For the canopy to like disappear, so you're not in danger of slamming into it.
you don't have an object above you to break your neck.
But yeah, seeing that for the first time, like, I know he dies, but how? Oh my god!
Right? That shit was messed up. Like, sure, the next thing we see him, he has like a bloody face and he's in the water.
Yeah.
And Tom Cruise is pretty much cradling him. You don't know, like, so his skull is cracked open and his neck is not in the right place anymore.
Yeah, just the way it crumbles, I'm like, yeah, he's dead.
Yeah, like, the most unlikely places for you to die is the most brutal places. Underneath a canopy, for fuck's sake.
And then the guy, the rescuer's like, you have to let him go, man. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, like Viper comes in as well. It's like, this will happen in the real world. You have to learn how to let this go. Like, once you get out there into the war, this shit could happen.
The timing on that is inappropriate though, because it's like only a day since he died. Right? It's like, let it go, man. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Right. I was also thinking the same thing. I was like, this is happening too fast, too furious for Tom Cruise. Like, what the fuck? Let that man mourn. This is pretty much his brother.
Like, give me a day, you fuckface.
Right? And then, like, I think, like, even a day after, he had to go straight to his wife to tell her, like, he died.
Yeah.
And, you know what? Respect to the wife. Like, to the character of Meg Ryan here, like, you would think that, like, you were supposed to keep them safe. No, it wasn't like that. He was like, you two were close. He loved flying with you. Yeah. And she feels bad for Tom Cruise knowing the fact that he was there when it happened. I was like,
yeah, she's like, God, he loved flying with you. He would have hated it, but he would have gone, moved on or something like that. So for him to be like, you have to move on too. And we're like, fuck, all right.
Again, like, it's happening a little too quick.
Yeah.
But you only had 8 weeks of Top Gun school to, you know. And the entire time they're doing the test and they're doing the last 2 flight exams before graduation.
Yeah.
And Tom Cruise has this cougar moment.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like from the first scene where he couldn't handle the real world consequences or things that would happen to him.
The replacement's pretty much an asshole too. It's like, we could have that shot, man. It's like, man, did you not hear what happened to him?
Right? Like, if you see that he's unnerved, can you understand why?
Yeah.
And to be honest, I think the helmet that his co-pilot had might not be allowed. Because that was like the Japanese flag. It's kind of like the swastika of the Japanese.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, you know, like the sun with like the streaks. That's kind of like the Imperial Japan.
I do like Iceman's.
Correct me if I'm wrong, by the way, in the comments. If I got that wrong, I will stand corrected.
All right, I like Iceman's like attempt to like, we liked him.
Yeah, everybody liked Goose. That was the thing. Like, Goose was a likable one, even though he was talking to like the rivals, the people who they're going up against, trying to be number one. He would still like, hey man, how did it go? While Tom Cruise will be like, competition, I'm number one, fuck you. He was like doing his own thing, packing his shit into his locker.
Yeah. And then he walks out of Top Gun and Charlotte's trying to convince him like, hey, don't be a quitter. And he's like, thanks. And she's like, if you need help, I'll just ask. And he's like, trust me, if I needed help, I'll ask. And that's like very like, I don't need you right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, that's completely valid. All you people are just rushing this. I get it that he needs to graduate flight school, but like, let him mourn.
And then he goes to Tom Skerritt, Viper, and he tells him the story of what actually happened to his dad. He's like, he saved my life and 3 other people that day. And we can't tell everyone because it's classified. But since you're his son, I'll tell you. And then he's like, you can do 2 things. You can graduate with enough credit, or you can quit. And there's no shame in that. And Cruise is like, Maverick's like, are you telling me to quit? And he's like, no. Us pilots have to keep pushing it. Like, alright.
Yeah. And I like this whole, again, moving too quick, I will say. But it is a good push in the right direction for Maverick's character.
Yeah.
Because, again, he's choking. You cannot have that kind of pilot out there when you're fighting, you know, MiG-28s. I don't know what country those planes were from, but like, I'm not gonna
Russia.
say it. Okay.
It's heavily influenced Russia.
Okay. Russian planes.
Boy,
And
the timing of this saying it's Russian is like, oh well.
this is for you, Ghost of Kiev. But was this?
He goes
So
the ceremony, right?
Yeah, he goes to the graduation ceremony and pretty much congratulates Goose.
Goose.
Sorry.
Sorry,
Iceman. Sorry, all these names. And they get pretty much a letter saying, hey, you're all gonna be shipped out in 24 hours, get ready. And this is their first ever dogfight. The entire time, sure, we're getting simulated dogfights. This is just the tune-in exam before they're tossed into Shippuden. If y'all know that, right?
Also,
but,
since the Navy was advising them, they asked for can we fire a missile? And they're like, no, you can't fire something that costs $100,000 in taxpayers. And then towards the end, they're like, fine, you can shoot one.
Just one.
Yeah, and then that's every time you see a missile fire, that's the same missile from different angles.
And I didn't notice.
Yeah.
I've done them.
Because sometimes going from right to left, and then sometimes we're going left to right. So yeah.
Alright. I kind of get it though. I get it. I did recognize that every time it launched from the plane, out of the plane, it was like, oh, that's the same scene.
Yeah.
That I noticed. But they pretty much get shipped out. There's their first dogfight. And even Iceman's like, are you sure you want to bring Maverick out? He's still not... Again, Iceman's the only person who's concerned and is willing to give time for Maverick to, moan and, recover. He's not saying it because, he hates Maverick. He's doing it because, he might jeopardize himself or the team. Again, MVP here is Iceman. And we see Iceman and Hollywood pretty much go out there, and Hollywood gets immediately shot down.
For Hollywood.
Thank God they didn't die.
Yeah.
You can see them ejecting, and they're fighting against 5 MiGs. I was like, that's a little unfair, but okay.
Right. And he does choke up, and then he has to sum up the bravery. What?
Yeah. No, but that was the funniest scene for me because while he's having his talk to me, Goose, talk to me. You're just his go by what the fuck are you doing?
Use the force, Maverick.
While you have Red Leader just take the shot.
Yeah, and he takes out so many of them that apparently the rest of them is nah, dog, we're running.
Who the fuck was that? We can't. That shit was cool. I will say, it was very cutty, and camera angles made me a little bit nauseous. But this was the pioneer of jet movies, fighter jet movies, Air Force movies. I don't know what you call them. But this is probably everybody's first time seeing an actual dogfight on the silver screen, or a legit looking one.
Yeah. I mean, legit looking one, because thanks to effects, no one has to risk their life stupidly.
Right, and somebody died for this movie, so it was legit.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll give them a pass on the cuts, the shaky cam. Of course, they had to work with what they had, and they had to tell a story. And for sure, it would have been hard for them to do a one-take flyby of a jet just taking out God knows what.
Tom Cruise, can you please risk your life for a one take? Sure.
I'm 20. And I loved it. I loved it. Sure, shaky. Sure, cutty. But at the same time, you gotta give it respect. This was early 80s. This was pretty much balls out, crazy filmmaking. You say that, somebody jumping out of an airplane in Mission Impossible Fallout was crazy. They did this in the 80s, where they had no safety features at all.
Or the most, prehistoric ones. I hope it works.
Yeah, it's I hope. There's a 20% chance that it actually might keep you safe.
I do love the ending though when Iceman's like you're still dangerous, but you can be my wingman anytime.
So,
What?
I mean, buy me dinner first. Like for me, it was like again, this is like very like the sexual tension. You could cut it with a knife between him and Iceman. Like when Iceman does this, I'm like, okay, fine. But yeah, I love the fight scene here. You see, yeah, sure, Iceman took a couple of people out, but MVP here was Maverick. Him soloing like 5 jets, was it, or 4?
Yeah, yeah.
And the rest just booked it. That's for sure hard to do in real life situations.
Also, Val Kilmer absolutely refused to say, I'll be your wingman anytime. It's like, what kind of fucking movies? It's like, man, come on, don't be a killjoy.
Yeah, you gotta feed the Fujoshis of the 80s. They need that gay shit.
Alright.
They need to consume it.
And then
It's so good.
Maverick, like, I'll be your wingman too. Like, alright.
They hug.
Hopefully the sequel touches on that a bit more. Then again, I think they replaced Charlotte with Jennifer Connelly's character. I don't know who she is.
Yeah. And for sure, Val Kilmer, I don't know if he's gonna like.
I think he's gonna make a
Either.
cameo.
Yeah, he'll cameo, but like he has a messed up voice, right? So
Yeah,
like
yeah.
he's gonna be in a scene for long. But hopefully we get to see old faces. And my God, Miles Teller. I know that, like, he's been off the radar for a while, but seeing him as Goose with the whole mustache and the blonde hair, I was like, shit, he's alive. He's back. His neck's okay, and his skull's not cracked.
But yeah,
I mean, like the actor's not dead, but I mean, like, it looks like they revived the character.
yeah, yeah. And the last scene of this movie, one of the last scenes, I'm like, what are you gonna do now? I'll be a Top Gun instructor, and then he reunites with Charlotte, and that's the end of the movie.
Yeah, and yes, the most romantic scene ever, kissing in front of a neon Pepsi logo.
I guess as the credits fades to black. I mean,
Yeah. Also, I forgot to mention Andy Dufresne. Dufresne, forgot, was in this movie as Merlin. Yeah, Andy Dufresne.
all right.
Yeah. After escaping Alcatraz, he signed up for Top Gun.
Good on you, man.
Yeah, good on you.
But
yeah, man, we pretty much hit the end of this movie. What would you rate it?
Fuck, I really can't think of anything negative to say about it. It's like, yeah, then be like, get over Goose, man, it's fine. You're like, the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
It's a bit bothersome, but aside from that, the score, Kenny Loggins' songs, and every other song from this movie it's on my fucking playlist for a reason. And this is the movie that really brought everyone knew about Tom Cruise because of this movie. It's made him to a megastar, and he's still going on to this day. And that says something about this movie. And it just again has a charm, and like you can't hate it. So I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10.
All right. For me, yes. I can't. I have so little bad things to say about this. Like, shit's so fun. I always wanted to be a fighter pilot. I always wanted to like ride, because I watch a lot of Gundam, as you can see. And I played a lot of Ace Combat. So this one, I got really absorbed into the world. Sure, there are gay undertones from here to there, and I was in for it. I was like,
Same
please, Iceman, kiss Maverick already. Like, I love the style. I loved all the fight scenes. Sure, there were a little cutty from here to there, but you gotta give them respect for what they had at the time. The only thing that I would say I have a gripe with is them moving on too fast with this scene with Goose, because Goose was such a heavy anchor of a character in this movie. Like, like I loved Tom Cruise's character, but I loved Goose more. The dude was funny, charismatic. Every time he was on screen, he was, he was such a presence. But the fact that once he died, they were kind of like, all right, let's get on. He's dead. You gotta fight some Russian stuff. I have a little bit of a problem with that.
Right.
So I would have loved to have given it a 9, but I would give it an 8.5.
All right.
Because of that. Because my favorite character in this movie is Goose.
Okay.
Yeah, so, but nonetheless, score's amazing, soundtrack was amazing, the effects, the practical effects, and what they had to do. Like, sure, they only had one missile, but they shot it in every angle, so it looked like they had the shit done. So, like, give them credit. This movie's fucking amazing. And it shot Tom Cruise to stardom.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, so it's an 8.5 for me. And what do you guys think? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Comment down below and let us know what you guys thought of Top Gun. And are you excited for, Top Gun 2? Because, fuck's sake, I am. If you saw the fucking trailer for it.
The training one? Yeah. Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, the training one. Nowadays, it's like, you could have better shots of a plane just coming off, like, getting off the tarmac. I was like, that shit's sick. Like, he's seeing it boost in real time. I was like, oh! Sorry. That shit's so great. But yeah, I'm excited for it. Are you excited?
Hell yeah.
Alright. But yeah, leave it down in the comment below if you guys are. And leave us a like if you guys like us. And also subscribe and ring the bell icon to be notified
Please
for
like
future
us.
videos. No, shut up. But yeah, ring the bell. Cut that part.
The bell.
Yeah. Subscribe, ring the bell icon to be notified for future videos. And you can find us at facebook.com/geeksanddegenerates. Also on Discord under the same name. And you can find me on Instagram under, fuck it. Cut that part. And you can find me at JomGOM on Instagram. It is my art account. How about you, Enzo? Where can they find you individually?
Individually at IG and Twitter at Gandalfus995. I know I fucked it up too. Shut up. Oh well, I don't have one over you. Finally, anyway.
But yes, please do stay safe, wear a mask, social distance, and get vaccinated, and also get a fucking booster for fuck's sake. And we'll see all you geeks and degenerates out there next time. Ciao.
Bye.
Kenny Loggins. No, I'm kidding. No, we'll get copyrighted.